On this edition of 219 West, spotlight on the London Summer Olympics. Jumping for Haiti, an American athlete competing for his parents' homeland.
I'm going to make all my supporters and fans proud, and I'm gonna go out there like it's my last meet ever.
From triple jumping to one of the newer Olympic sports, Taekwondo.
They do it in strip clubs, bars, studios, and gyms. But could they do it in the Olympics?
On guard. The classic sport of fencing comes to Coney Island by way of Ukraine.
Fly fishing for peace of mind. Veterans cast their lines to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder.
When you clear your mind, you clear your spirit, you start fishing. So it gives you that hope. That's what it does. It gives you hope that when everything goes wrong, when the symptoms come up, when you're having flashbacks, this simple task right here, it suppresses it. And it's not a pill that's damaging your body. It's an option to live your life a different way.
I'm Amital Isaac.
I'm Sarah Kazadi.
I'm Kizzy Cox.
I'm Kevin Loria.
And I'm Laura Shin. We'll have these stories next on 219 West. With the beginning of troop withdrawals from Afghanistan this summer, the end of America's combat role is in sight. Some of the soldiers coming home bring with them the burden of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. A few veterans are finding comfort in an especially tranquil sport, a world away from the battlefield.
26-year-old Robert Gill is 6,000 miles away from Baghdad, where he almost lost his life 6 years ago. Last year, he considered taking his own life. Since then, he has learned how to fly fish, and he says it has saved his life.
What I'm feeling is, it's a rare thing. What I feel when I fish is nothing. Don't feel anything. I just breathe in and breathe out. I feel the bend of the rod, the weight of the pull, get ready to send it forward. Then from there, I concentrate on trying to gently land a fly in the water.
The Brooklyn native joined the Army when he was 17 years old, motivated by the September 11 attacks to do something for his country. In December 2006, while in Iraq, Gil noticed a vehicle headed in the wrong direction.
So I drew his attention, opened fired, and he revved up his engine, headed straight towards me.
In that instant, Gil knew it was a suicide bomber.
I knew if I moved out the way, instead of killing me, he's gonna kill a whole platoon of guys. So, I just stood there.
Gil killed the driver and the vehicle detonated. He suffered shrapnel wounds to his forehead and hands. He received a Purple Heart and Bronze Star for his actions and was discharged in 2007. Gil says he's been battling a traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder ever since.
Months later, you close your eyes and you're still there. It's not, you don't just walk away from it, and it doesn't matter if you were hit, it doesn't matter if you were injured, it doesn't matter how many bodies you saw. Just the sounds of it, just the earth shaking.
Gil says he reached a point where the treatment for his PTSD was no longer effective and he attempted suicide. Shortly after, he heard about the Veteran Anglers of New York, a group dedicated to treating wounded veterans through fly fishing.
Fly fishing is very neutralizing. You're not in your home environment. You're not at work. You're not necessarily even with people you see every day. So it offers an opportunity to develop trust, to develop companionship, and also partake in an activity that is comforting.
The Veteran Anglers of New York is part of the national organization Project Healing Waters, which consists of more than 130 chapters nationwide and has worked with more than 2,000 veterans since the organization was founded 7 years ago.
See a group of people who sometimes never smiled, sort of stayed at home a lot, don't live with somebody else, are alone, and over time, and sometimes it can be 2 years, they start to engage. They start to participate. And then, of course, they're also developing their skills at casting.
PTSD wasn't commonly known when Project Healing Waters was founded. The organization began on the simple idea of taking injured soldiers to a calm and tranquil environment.
It takes me away from anything that is stressful, that may have been stressful, and just takes me into a more quiet zone, you know, just focusing on casting, not thinking about home life or what happened to me to cause this, you know, PTSD or anxiety stress disorder, just totally relaxing.
Participants range from Vietnam vets to those who have served in recent conflicts. The Veteran Anglers of New York offers casting lessons twice a month in Central Park and occasionally takes the veterans on fishing trips where they can escape the city for a few days. The vets say the best part for them is the relationships they build and form while learning how to fish.
We're family. You know, it's not even about friendship, it's about family because we have that experience, you know, that we all went through.
Stop it there. You're dropping it too far back.
Gil is now an avid fisherman who says his life has changed. He is currently a history major at Hunter College. He hopes to someday work with other veterans struggling with PTSD and help them using outdoor activities. Gil's wife of 2 years, Christina, says she's noticed the change in Gil's life.
Coming here and being part of a group, it's helped him learn how to communicate with other people. So now we have a lot more friends. We're able to go out. We're able to have people come to the house. Before, it was just kind of like he was really introverted.
When you clear your mind, you clear your spirit, you start fishing. So it gives you that hope. That's what it does. It gives you hope that when everything goes wrong, when the symptoms come up, when you're having flashbacks, this simple task right here, it suppresses it. And it's not a pill that's damaging your body. It's an option to live your life a different way.
You know, Sarah, I had the pleasure of spending some time with Robert and Christina, and something that really stood out to me was their relationship and how important that is for Robert. Right. For example, I was in their car with them, and just for a brief moment, Robert forgot where he was and where he was going, which he said is a symptom that he deals with. Okay. But you know, Christina was right there with him, and she guided him back to where we were. And he said to me, he said, this is why she's my other half.
That's amazing. Thank you, Laura. Now on to a major event this month. For competitive athletes, the shining moment comes every 4 years. In just a few days, the Olympic Games will be underway in London. 27-year-old Samir Lane will be one of only 3 athletes wearing the Haitian red and blue. Born in the U.S. to Haitian parents, he has followed quite an unusual path to the Olympics. Samir Lane is rarely more than a hop, step, and jump away from the sand pit. Being a world-class triple jumper means spending up to 4 hours a day on the track and in the gym, training for the thrill of that giant leap.
It really is like you're flying, you know, and when you hit the sand after a good jump, it's exhilarating.
Lane has been flying since he was a high school junior in Newburgh, New York. He kept at it through college, setting a triple jump record at Harvard, then earning his master's degree in Texas.
They sort of balance each other out, because if you're disciplined academically, then the track is sort of a release from the books and everything.
The juggling act continued through law school at Georgetown. During the summer, he interned at New York City law firms on one hand and worked to improve his jump distance on the other. After passing the bar exam, the plan was to work as an attorney, not a professional athlete.
You work first and then play, and track was kind of play. It wasn't like, I want to be an Olympian, I want to be on top of the podium. It was more, it's something I know I can be good at. I want to see how far my talent, you know, my God-given talent can go.
But his talent has forced him to put his legal career on hold. Last summer, Lane jumped 55 feet and 6 inches, enough to qualify for the Olympic Games. His sole focus now is jumping for Haiti.
I want to go there and win a medal because I know that the entire country and in the Haitian diaspora and people on the island itself, they just be elated. Even without the earthquake from 2 years ago, it'd still be a big deal to give people their hope and to inspire folks.
That January 2010 earthquake killed hundreds of thousands. Among them were 7 Haitian Olympians and at least 30 members of the National Soccer Federation. Lane was not in Haiti during the tragedy, but it still hit home.
You have family that's there, you have teammates from other sports who are affected. Not only does that hurt you deeply, but as an athlete, you realize that This is a way for sport, for me to use sport, my teammates to use sport to inspire others to rebuild the country, to do great things, you know, in spite of the earthquake.
Since qualifying for the Olympics, he's been traveling worldwide to compete.
This is from 2011, actually, down in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico.
The ongoing road trip is all in preparation for London. Qualifying for the Olympic Games is one thing, winning is another. Haiti has not won an Olympic medal since 1928. To break the dry spell, Samir Lane will have to beat out more than 20 other triple jumpers. Beating the odds for a top 3 finish in London is his daily motivation.
To the weight room first, and then we got a little track work.
By his side is Josier Luis, a Haitian competing in the decathlon event. They've been training together since early last year.
He's just been pushing me as hard as possible, and I've been pushing him also. And, you know, regardless whether you're in the country of Haiti or you're in other places in the world, I mean, we're still a team, you know, and we form together as a team, as Haiti is doing right now. And it just means a lot to us, being brethren, to give something back to the country and also back to our families.
But Olympic glory comes with a price, not just figuratively with the time spent training, but literally. Funding for hotels, plane fare, and training camps is limited. The Haitian Olympic Committee says it still needs about $300,000 to financially support the Haitian Olympians, and that the Haitian government has not pitched in. Some Haitians are taking matters into their own hands. Author Richard Gentil organized a fundraising event at this bookstore in Brooklyn. He says the proceeds will go straight to the Haitian athletes.
You can't really train when you have financial burdens, you know. So it's about alleviating these burdens and hopefully get these athletes the peace of mind that they need so they can concentrate on their sport.
Lane doesn't personally know the author, but says any help is welcome. He's also received a financial boost from sponsors like Mizuno and Muscle Milk. With this support and all of Haiti watching, he feels a step closer to his goal, making history in London.
I'm going to have a personal best in London. That's a prediction. I'm going to make all my supporters and fans proud. And I'm gonna go out there like it's my last meet ever.
For 219 West, I'm Sarah Kazadi.
From triple jumping to one of the newer Olympic sports, Taekwondo. The earliest Taekwondo practice dates back 2 millennia in Korea. It wasn't until the 2000 Summer Olympic Games in Sydney that it became an Olympic sport. Sitting with me now is Dalia Avivi, a former member of the national U.S. Taekwondo team. Welcome, Dalia.
Hi, how are you?
So tell us a little bit about Taekwondo and how you started getting involved with it.
I started from a very young age, when I was like about 10 or 11. I was just really, really hyper, and it came to, I'm from Israel, so it came to a kibbutz where I was living at, and I grew to love it through the years, and that's what I did for a long time.
And how long have you been competing, or at least doing the sport competitively?
Probably competitively since I was 15. Once I moved to America, I became a national team member in 2006. So then I became more international, fought, oversee more, just became my life.
Describe that a little bit. What was that like?
To get to the team was very hard because the United States is one of the top countries of Taekwondo, for Taekwondo, and there's a very long process. It takes about a year. You start in January, it goes through April, the second stage, and then in the end of the year, or approximately during the summer, you make the team. And then at the end of the year, we'll go to the World Championships, to the World Cup, or whatever competition world-wise. And during the year as well, you compete internationally as well, just to get more experience, to get more used to fighters in the world, different styles. So for the United States, once I've tried 3 times before when I got here, and then in 2006 is when I broke through, and 2006, 2007, those 2 years I broke through and made the team for 6 years in a row.
And describe what that brief period was like when were you just completely intensely training all the time? What was it? Did it take over your life?
It did, definitely. You basically train twice a day. In the morning will be conditioning, stretching, working on technique, and at night it will just be fighting. It takes a very big toll on your body, so it will be a lot of recovering as well. As much as you want to say you can eat whatever you want because you do work out so much, but it's very hard to recover, and it's very hard to maintain your because it's a sport with weight, so it's very hard to maintain your figure and your weight through the years if you just eat whatever you want. So you gotta
and
maintain.
Because sometimes you can choose depending on who you want to fight, kind of, right?
In a way, and nowadays there's so many fighters, so you kind of. I fought different divisions. I fought from 49 kilos up to 72 kilos. I try not to go lower than 49 because it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
So not anymore, you're not as specific of who do you want to fight, but what weight division you think fits your body type. And once you get a little bit older, it's harder to cut that weight.
Mm-hmm. And what does it mean for Olympic athletes to be training for this type of event? What goes on inside their head?
It's once you get to the Olympic stages, even the runner-up, and that was the stage that I was, the top 8 females in the country, basically 2 females got picked, their weight division, and then everybody fights towards those 2 divisions. Once you're in that level, you already are a good fighter. You're already recognized around the world, especially because you're from the U.S., so we are known as well. And it's just everything you already know. You just make everything sharper, tighter. You work on your speed. You're not going to get that faster, but you work to make sure everything that day when you compete is 100%.
And it's a full contact sport.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
How does that really affect your training? It's fun.
Yeah. Or the way we worked out is because it is a full contact sport. You get injured a lot, so we did actually the opposite. We won't have chest protector on or headgear on. You basically try to avoid getting hit because that's where you get points at, the stomach or the head. You're not allowed to kick from your waist below. So we'll only have like arm gears on, shin gears on, and then we'll just fight and kind of play fight. But it does hurt and everything, but that's how you get tougher and you be able to last longer. And even if you do get hit very, very hard, you don't stop, you just keep on going.
And can you talk about a little bit how technology has been introduced into the sport?
Yes. The last, I want to say 2 years, they created this system. We used to have 4 referees, 1 center referee, 3 on the side. And the referees basically call the shots. If you kicked in my stomach, 2 referees out of the 3 referees believe that you hit me the right way, they will score it. The system, I personally think the system gotten so much better, the fact that now we have sensors on our feet. We have this little sensors on the feet, and we have sensors not on gloves, because now we have mandatory to wear gloves. And you have sensors on the chest protector. So basically, the sensors, when you hit it, it has to be a clean hit, with your foot, and it has to be a certain power. So I'm a 72 kilo, my power was 45. The lower the weight, the power would be lower, just because they can't hit it as hard, obviously. Right. And with men, it will be a higher power. And I just feel it eliminates a lot of not so clear points, because it's technology. It's a clear point. The computer said it's a point, so it's for sure. It's not like the referee liked me. There's no favoritism as much.
Which helps.
It helps a lot. It's the sport is cleaner. There's still a lot of little problems that they're still trying to solve, because the foot can slide on it, and it's not a point at all. It's like you haven't even kicked, but your foot just touched the sensor, so it'll do a point. And obviously with those kind of situations, you have a card, you can dispute it, and then you bring back the cameras and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. The sport just gone everything in the world got more technology. The sport did the same thing, and it's pretty cool.
Dalia Vivi, former U.S. national Taekwondo team member, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
My name is Fernanda. I'm the wife of a teacher. Budget cuts affected my husband's salary, so I'm picking up some part-time work. We're doing everything we can to make sure our kids eat today. Tomorrow, I just don't know. Fernanda, how'd I do?
Well, I usually fold the underwear first.
I meant the acting, but good to know.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans.
These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids.
Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. But so is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
What do you think of when you hear Coney Island? The sand, the sea, the cyclone, and fencing? Just 2 blocks from the boardwalk and Nathan's Famous, young athletes train for a sport as old as the Olympics. Two years ago, Misha Makritsov opened New York Fencing Academy just 2 blocks away from the Coney Island boardwalk. For him, it was the perfect spot to train students in the ancient art of dueling.
I decided to try to open it here because there was nothing over here. There was a lot of interest in fencing. I found the location. It's nice that we have beach next to us. We can go for a run. You know, during summertime, it's nice to do the summer camps because kids can do running on the boardwalk. We can do footwork on the sand, which is, you know, hard workout.
Makritsov emigrated from the Ukraine to the United States to attend college at St. John's, where he was one of the top fencers in the country.
I've been fencing for around 15 years, and I'm coaching for around 6 years already. And I love doing it because I felt like I can teach a lot to kids, and I felt that I could be more connected to them because I'm younger, and I kind of still know how does it feel to just start fencing and like get involved, get excited about it.
I like fencing. I like épée, saber. Not really foil because it's really complicated.
Yeah. What do you like about épée?
It's just really cool. You can hit wherever you want, and there's a lot of parries.
Cool.
And I just love it.
He loves it. We love the school, and we love to be part of the school.
Cool. So what about the school?
What about the school? Very friendly, great coach, young and knows his way around with the kids. And I guess it changed our life a lot. It's very hard for a child to find a sport that they really love, so we did.
For some athletes, especially those with roots in the Ukraine and Russia, fencing is a part of their cultural heritage.
I would say that fencing is was more popular probably in Russia and Ukraine than it was in the United States at the beginning. They're interested in fencing because they want their kids to do some sport that involve mental activity as well as physical. It teaches you manners, discipline, and so on, so parents like it.
The students at New York Fencing Academy love the sport, but they also train hard for upcoming bouts.
Our program is mostly competitive. Yes, we have recreational fencing, but me being a professional athlete, competitive athlete, I am a competitive and I want to be competitive as a coach.
You need to practice a lot, but it pays off in the end.
I have a lot of passion about winning, so that's why we have competitive program. We travel a lot. We travel nationally, we travel internationally. This year, 2 of our students went to the World Cup, one in Sweden, one in France.
They've had an impressive record in competition so far. Perhaps in the future, a Coney Island-based fencer will compete in the Olympics.
We opened only 2nd year, so we have really good kids in the age group of the 14-year-old kids, of cadets. So hopefully those kids, when they're gonna reach the age when they can try for the Olympic Games, they will try. But then we'll try to give them best chances to qualify for Olympic Games, maybe in Rio.
But for now, most of the students stay focused on developing their skills.
Favorite part of it is trying to fence other people that are much stronger than you, and figure out what they're trying to do and how you can beat them. And it's very fun that way.
It's very competitive, which I really like because it gives me a challenge. I really enjoy even just practicing in the club. So yeah, it's fun.
It's very friendly around here. We're all friends, I'm older. We got the young kids, 12 and up. We got some guys over 60 that are here that still fencing over 30 years.
I would like to say about Misha. He's a very nice young coach, and his staff is so good. They're working very good with the children, and I like everything what they're doing here.
I came here because my mom, she used to do fencing in Ukraine, and just how my mom asked me if I want to start, and when I started, I actually enjoyed it, and I had lots of fun.
Kids love it too, because sword fighting.
In Coney Island for 219 West, this is Kevin Loria.
Now, from a classic Olympic sport to one of the edgiest of Olympic wannabes. From fitness classes at Crunch to seductive routines at dance studios across America, this activity has gone mainstream. But is it mainstream enough to make it into the Olympics?
Pole dancing? Pole dancing? No. No, doesn't belong in the Olympics.
About it, they're probably making more of a knee-jerk reaction, thinking of pole dance and sleazy and strippers. And the truth is, we actually have thousands of athletes that practice this every day and championships around the world that are very much on the up and up. And it's right alongside the same sort of things that are done in figure skating and gymnastics. So we call it vertical gymnastics because rightly so, it's just taking a parallel bar and turning it vertically and doing many of the same things.
I actually think it would be kind of cool if they have figure skating and other events that are sort of artistically based. I think they could do that as well, as long as they're not stripping. Like that, put them in a leotard or something like that, just like the gymnastics.
I don't really want to see it in the Olympics because I don't want to see that performance element taken out of it, and I'm afraid if it goes into the Olympics that it's going to be basically gymnastics on a vertical pole, and there's going to be void of any expression, you know, and it's just going to be gymnastics.
And we're not trying to take away from those that are more along the purist line of they prefer pole dancing and pole dance championships where they are more exotic. We still have a place for them in our industry, absolutely, because that's the roots of our industry.
Pole dancing in the Olympics? No. No, that's ridiculous. That was just, the Olympics is such a prestigious and like honorable and admirable thing. If we put pole dancing in, it'd just be a joke.
The stereotyping that pole dancing is for strippers, and really, you know, when you take pole dancing and turn it into a fitness regime, then you've got pole fitness. When you take pole fitness and do championships and competitions, then you've got pole sports. So our biggest challenge is overcoming that stereotype.
Pole dancing should be kept in the nightlife.
I would say they don't know our sport. I think they probably haven't taken the time to get to know pole fitness or pole sports. I think, you know, they think pole dancing again, and they think strippers, and nothing could be further from the truth. So I think if we could dazzle them just by showing them what it's really about, by showing them some of the pole championships that go on around the world, they would really see the incredible athleticism that is demonstrated by our athletes.
I think pole dancing is very athletic, and it's equally as athletic as any of the other sports that are in the Olympics.
I would just encourage everyone to go out on YouTube and take a look at pole sports and pole fitness championships. Look at some of the things that they're doing on the pole. I think they would be readily amazed at the athleticism, the elegance, the beauty, the grace, and the strength that's demonstrated by our pole athletes. They really are worthy of Olympic recognition, and that's what we're working towards.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
I'm Kizzy Cox. That's all for this month's edition of 219 West from the CUNY Graduate School of Journalism. We'll be back next month with more stories from the 5 boroughs and beyond.